But anyway, yes, look up classes. And if you want to just get to working, I always recommend voices.com. I know there's another site, but I can never remember what it is. Voices.com, people have projects, let's say. I want you to read this manual for how to put the thing together. Somebody makes an independent, cartoon or something. They just need people. They say, willing to pay between like $250 and $400. And Bonnie's the master of this. She's like, oh, okay, then how about $200? She always like underbids. That's how she was always getting to work. But then, you get, it's more, cuts out the middleman, basically. Oh, hey there. This is Michael T. Coleman, the voice of Cody Travers in Street Fighter V.
Desk work just ain't my thing. But you know what is? The Kasanova Podcast. #1 in Hawaii. Bingo!
I bet you guys weren't expecting this. We are joined by the one and only Michael T. Coleman. As far as we know, still the mayor of Metro City. Hello, everyone. This is Mekel Kasanova, host of the Kasanova Podcast, Hawaii's #1 podcast for entertainment and more. And we're joined by the one and only Michael T. Coleman. So, Mr. Coleman, what is up? How are you doing? It's been 5 years since we did a podcast together.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy.
The whole COVID thing just flattened time. Feels like
it really did. Because it's like, it's crazy. I know when we were scheduling this podcast out, like, just the concept of time is just so ridiculous now. It feels like weeks just flow. And it's like, you think it's one day, but it's actually another. It's.
I'm like, I was just on. I don't know what we're going to talk about. so how's everything? I was over there recently, right? They're like, no, dude, that was 2017. I'm like, oh.
What? And you were just out here a couple weeks ago on vacation. So
it was 2 months, but yeah.
It was 2 months already?
Yeah, it was March.
Oh my God. Oh, it's like mid-May. See? There we go. That's what we're talking about. But how's everything going with you, man? Like, what's new for the audience who is not familiar with you? The two people in the back. Go ahead and tell them, because you do a whole lot more than just voice acting Cody for Street Fighter.
Full-time job that I did 5 years ago.
I know, it's absolutely crazy. I mean, like I was telling you before we started the show, like I put out a teaser that we were going to be doing this podcast that had over 1,000 people send in questions, and it's 1,000 variations of the same question, and it is, where are you in Street Fighter 6? Now, I know nothing official. We can't have anything said. I don't want to get any trouble. But I personally think if/when Cody does make some type of appearance, they're going to make a spectacle out of it, like they did last time.
Well, it's not on the disc, because I saw those articles where somebody, cracked it and was like, well, here are all the characters that are hidden on the disc. And I didn't see Cody, and I was like, oh. So, I mean, I suppose DLC? Yeah. Obviously, as usual. Yes. But I don't know. I know people you think I'm lying, but I don't know. You can never trust a person. Like Andrew Garfield. He's all like, I'm not in Spider-Man. That would be amazing, wouldn't it? But I'm not in Spider-Man. Oh, I'm in Spider-Man. I was watching the movie, and he appeared, and I went, liar! I believed him.
Oh, man.
And I did a voiceover the other day for a thing that I can't say. Mm-hmm. But I was like, oh, I'm going to put pictures up. Oh. And the director was Bill Rogers from Street Fighter. And so I'm like, me and a fellow Street Fighter Bill. And I had to put in parentheses, like, no, it's not that. And still, like, at least one or two comments were like, are you in Metro City? Street Fighter 6? I'm like, what did I just say? It's
yeah.
So, last time I didn't find out till a month before. I was like, hey, am I in the game? And they were like, oh, yeah, hey, what you doing in January? I'm like, oh, thanks.
So that's one of the things is like with voice acting, you guys are typically one of the last to be added into a project, right?
Unless you're doing mocap too. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, you know, Joe Gatt?
Yeah.
So, just a reminder to this, because the other day he posted, I guess, it was for May the 4th. He posted himself in Get Up. So he did the mocap for the character and he did the voice. That's a lot of fun. And of course, you know, any Naughty Dog thing, it's usually the actors. So it depends. But then, yeah, especially if it's a Japanese game, we're totally last. We're like beyond the last. Because we're listening to the Japanese person who already did it. And then we're changing it.
So I guess speculate
Here we go.
as to where Mr. Travers is in Street Fighter 6. Do you think he's just busy with paperwork, desk work? You know, it's not his thing.
I think he's on tour, promoting Metro City, and trying to create economic ties with Brazil, and because Brazil loves Cody Travers for some reason, and China. Everyone's got to go to China. That's what we do around here.
Okay.
Our governor, he's always just like, I'm going to go because we're technically a country, right? Yeah. But the New York City mayor, he's always off, you know, being like, hey, give us your money. So that's my guess. He's not in town. Otherwise, there's no way he would allow that much violence to be going on without him.
True.
You wouldn't stop it. You'd be like, guys, what's up?
Yes. So with that being said, so
That's
official answer is we don't know yet. So for anybody who's wondering, for the 1,000+ questions, we don't know yet. Maybe
he's on tour. Maybe he's on a honeymoon. Yeah. I don't know for who. His secretary. I don't know.
I mean, they kind of tease that a little bit, but it just seems like he wasn't that interested.
She seemed more annoying, or he seemed more annoyed.
Yeah,
fine, but he's just like, oh, why do I have to do my job? Napoleon Dynamite.
I mean, I'm definitely hoping we do get Cody, we get Guy, we get Hagar. Hagar's never been in a Street Fighter, and that's criminal.
Right, he's in Capcom, the Marvel vs. Capcom.
Yeah,
the only one in that. But yeah, what's up? Poor guy.
I honestly think we should have maybe one DLC season should just be all Final Fight Metro City characters, because it's like it just doesn't make sense. The story mode villains are the gang that Cody beat up, like it, and that's the thing is like so many people's like commentary on Street Fighter 6 is, all right, cool, the game plays great, but it doesn't make sense. There's no Final Fight characters, no Metro City characters. Like, what are you doing? Like, not even legacy characters like from Street Fighter 3, since this is set after it. And it's like I know I was talking to Mark Whitten, who does Alex, and he's like, yeah, I haven't heard anything either.
It's like you don't go to like the X Mansion and no X-Men show up.
I know, right?
It's just on tour.
Yeah, it's super weird. I don't know.
They had to have thought of that. I mean, I assume that. I don't know. But if they're like, let's have it in Metro City. Oh, yeah, great. So we're going to have Guy and all these. Nah. Oh, why not? I don't know.
I know they said, I forget, one of the producers did answer a question like, whoever the current producer is. I know it's not Ono-san. I forget the guy's name.
Poor Ono-san.
But one of the things one of the two producers said about 9 months ago when they were asked about Final Fight characters and Cody specifically, and they were saying like, yeah, we definitely want to put him in the game.
Wait, what?
And it's like, so where, when?
Well, I'm glad they want to.
I know. So
that's more than nothing.
Right. So it's just weird that like, I don't know, like.
This came out like last year?
Yeah, literally 1 year ago.
Time means nothing. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, 5 was out for like 2 years before anything, or 3. Was it
Yeah.
2015?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know we were all watching Bonnie because our Mika was already in it. And then we did the thing where we went to Hawaii with all a bunch of us, and she was like the only one in 5, and we're all just like, yeah, I don't know, maybe we'll be.
Well, I know that apparently some of the data miners said that Armika is going to be in 6, so maybe, I don't know.
She won't tell me. I see her work up.
So, with that being said, what are some of the other projects you're currently working on that you can share?
Oh.
Okay.
No. I keep trying to retire. I still enjoy that. But then I feel bad for my agent, so I always do auditions anyway, and then wind up. I mean, I got like one commercial since pandemic, which was hilarious because I was like, "Can I keep my beard?" And they're like, "Oh, whatever." I'm like, "Sweet." And actually, this thing I did recently was my first since the pandemic, because I was very excited. I don't know if I mentioned I had a vocal polyp.
Yeah.
Right when just as COVID was hitting, so I sounded like Batman all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I was yelling at my children, like, "Stop it, Patty!" And then they called me in, and I was like, "Are you aware of how I sound?" They're like, "Your background stuff, like ghosts." And I was like, "Okay." So I was very excited because I got to. They're like, "Just moan like a ghost." I'm like, "All right." I'm like, "That's my voice." It was oh crap! I remember it was an anime. I have to go look it up, but I was just excited. I was like, "That's me. That's my actual voice." And then I had surgery. I'm better now.
So with the with the process of voice acting, especially during the pandemic, like, were there anything like specific things you guys had to do, or like, since a lot of people couldn't go within a booth, like,
well,
what was that
so many
like?
people have their own booths now. It's just like I have a friend who has tracks on her ceiling, so she has a curtain that just goes like a really heavy curtain, and a little setup there. Kyle LeBear, he uses his closet.
Still?
Easy. I mean, I haven't checked on him in like a year or two, but he was very pro closet last time we talked, because we did a thing over the during the pandemic with over Zoom, and so he had a background of like a booth, and we're like, "Is that you're moving and it looks like a background?" He's like, "Oh yeah," and he turned it off. He's like, "I'm in a closet," and we're like, "Oh," he's like, "Yeah, why would I buy a booth? I got clothes all around me." I know. He's like, "This is a dirty little secret." And I'm like, "That's what I do." Like, I'll just put the mic like in between two coats. Do it that way. Okay. So yes, and then Chris Rickabaugh, Huarang, or Sean, I guess in Street Fighter, he's got a whole thing. I don't even know. I haven't been to his house since he made it, but we game every week, and he looks like he's in a professional booth. It may just be a tiny little like 2x2 area in his apartment, but he's got like a setup and a camera here, and like everything's foam. So I think voice actors are especially ready. Most other actors, self-tape at home, and they're like, "What?" Like when I do commercials, we have to edit, we have to make a background, make sure the lighting's good. Like the worst is you have to get like from here up, and they want full body, and it's like I don't have that much room to walk back. I have to adjust the camera, so I'll just do a separate shot like outside, and then I'll come back. And then you got to make it look good. You got to make it's just so many actors are like rebelling against it.
Really?
Oh yeah, it's a big. During the SAG thing, I think it was brought up a few times.
Okay.
They're like, "Look, we're not casting directors. We're not editors. We're just actors." And so a lot of them are really mad because it's like it's not going to look as good as if we were to go into a booth or into a casting office. Whereas I'm just like, "Yeah, okay, fine, let's hurry up." I like everything at home, but it's the same. I'll do the tape, and then I'll go back to work, and I'll get to it later. Because then I have to take it and then I have to put it in the computer. Then I have to edit it and then make sure that everything signs it. Then I have to put it online, and it's annoying. So yes, but voice actors are already prepared. Plus, we're not on camera, so that's easier.
Okay. So for I had a question that just went away. Come back. Okay, so I'll come back to that question when it comes back to me. So
Sure.
Stay over there and come back. But I have the question I'm going to ask in the meantime. I have noticed that every voice actor friend of mine and every voice actor that I've interviewed, everybody's into D&D. What is that?
Of course. What? It's improv and it's characters and voices. And yeah, it's basically it's voiceover. That's all it is. I mean, a lot of my characters are from role-playing games, so well, I don't know if we talked about it, like the Tales of the Extraordinary show with Little Diggy. They talk a bit like this. Like I made that character and worked on him during role playing games. Dicky or whatever. What's my character's name? Cody. Cody. I've had a number of characters that talk like that.
So aside from it being fun, it's also just the fact that it's like improv. Okay. So
well, I mean, look at Mercer.
Skills.
He gets to be the DM, so he gets to play all the characters.
True.
And TJ, have you had TJ Storm, who's also he I think he uses us as a DM. He uses us as his test audience. So he I think I've mentioned this before, but what was it? One of the games, Dead Rising, or something. Or no, it was
was it Resident Evil 5?
Evil 5, yes.
Yeah,
he was the monster as well as another character. So he's a monster at the end, and he's doing like this, and we're all like, "Hey, I know that character," because he gets up out of his chair when he's DMing, and he'll be like, "See an orc," and he'll just do the whole like gets into the character. He'll do the roaring. He'll walk around the room, and so we're all like, "Yeah!" And then he actually went up for a movie once, and he's like, "I'm practicing my was it like West African accent or something?" So he did the entire game in that accent. He's like, "I just have to keep it up. Sorry, guys." And we're like, "Sure."
Okay.
Yeah, it's that's I never thought of it, but that's exactly why.
Okay. All right. So if anybody wanted to get into D&D, where would you send them? Because I know I asked you this, but we got to ask for the audience as well.
If they want to get into Roll20 has actually I have a Roll20 up right here. I was playing my kids' game on Saturday. I run my son's game. Okay. So Roll20 has a cool thing. If anybody knows Roll20.net, you can put up maps. You can it rolls dice for you. You have character sheets. It's all interactive. So I had to put it up because we had a kid that was cheating in Patty's my son's group. He'd be like, "I got a 20." We're like, "Did you though? 19, dude. No. Here, use this." And we all signed up on Roll20. I told all the kids how to do it, and then it was all like 4 and 5. Like he wasn't getting 20s. But yeah, they have a thing. Community, I think it might be. If you go there, there's a whole bunch of things like home, games, marketplace. Community has a whole like area. I've never done this, but other people have. Help center, maybe. Forums. Yeah, they have forums. Basically, you say, "Hey, I want to play a game." And there are people who are like, "Hey, we need like another player for this game." And they hook up and you with strangers and you can just play with them over the internet. Okay. From different countries, different states, whatever. So that's if people have no one to play with, that's probably the best way I would imagine to start, because we live in the future.
Okay, because I know like out here in Hawaii, like there's a big D&D scene on Big Island, but not so much on Oahu. Which you would think it would be more people here since it's a bigger population. But for whatever reason, no, it's massive on Big Island. Yeah. So I have no idea.
Or they get together, or are they LARPing? Like, what are they doing?
Well, they have like whole types of tournaments and events and everything like that over there. Like it's massive. But here, I mean, we've got what's it called? Dragon's Coast or something? Dragon's Lair or something. By the airport, I believe we have that over here. I have a nice little community for D&D, but like nothing compared to Big Island. Like that just blew my mind.
There's so much. I mean, Big Island, it's a lot of more wilderness, right? More open space and
way more country.
Really, yeah, so they're probably like, "Look at all this stuff we have. Let's build a village."
Yeah, because I know at the event, was it KawaiiCon that Kyle was at? A lot of that group from Big Island actually came to Oahu, and then they did the whole D&D thing over there. I was like, wow, okay. They had a massive turnout too, so shout out to them.
Well, I Okay. That's so weird.
It literally makes no sense to me. But I was like, all right, okay, cool. So Roll21, that's the where people
Roll20.net.
Okay.
Roll20. There's another one called Foundry or The Forge. That's like, you need a lot of computer memory for that one. It's got animation, it's got music playing, it's out of control. But Roll20 is not like simpler, but simpler. And it's got a community, and it's good for starting, especially. But I mean, I've been using it and they have it for everything. We've done Paranoia, we've done Star Wars games, Call of Cthulhu. Like, they have all sorts of things set up there, and you can even buy D&D when things come out. For example, the new, let's say Curse of Strahd. You can download it from them, and boom, you get maps, you get characters, you get everything you need for the game as a DM. So it's really handy. Yes.
Okay. I should definitely introduce you to one of my friends, podcaster, and she does directing, voice acting too. Her name's Crystal Storm, and she's currently on a Marvel project right now, but she's into D&D and whatnot. And she wrote a whole fan fiction Star Wars that apparently just took off.
Whoa.
And, caught the attention of Marvel and everything. So it's like, I will definitely get you guys in contact with each other.
Especially if we can play with TJ Storm.
Yeah, definitely.
Too many storms.
So you mentioned earlier, I'm not sure if he was in jest, but you were saying like retiring. Have you hit like a point where you're tired of voice acting, or is like, where are you at with it?
I mean, I'll do it. I'm just I'm more. I work for the state now in our civil rights department. So working with like people who are discriminated against or face harassment based on any protected basis at work, like their race, their sex, disabilities, things like that. So that keeps me busy. But I also work from home, so I still do auditions, like I said, when they tell me to. But I don't try to. I don't know. I don't focus on it. But so I'm trying to retire. But naturally, I'm sure they'll bug me to come do Cody. Maybe. Yes. But mainly, also kids. I mean, I'm too busy.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, with everything that you do, like finding time just to do voice acting has to be like, because typically a session's 2 to 4 hours in a booth.
Yeah. Last one was 4, and it flew by. But yeah, that's like on the high end. Usually it's 2, I think.
Okay.
Especially for a fighting game, it's not a whole lot.
True.
Just
So the other thing too, your background within acting and theater and whatnot. Are you still doing like any of that, or?
I'm doing it through my children. My daughter's over there, so she's been doing plays, and so I'm like, all right, we're rehearsing. Here we go. Let's do blocking.
Okay.
And then my son is doing drama as well, so I'm here to help. I'm a guru now.
I did my drama play.
Yeah, she did her play just this weekend. Oh yeah.
Nice.
I loved it.
But I mean, theater's not. Again, COVID destroyed everything. Like, we had a long-running show, Dungeon Master, which had been going for 20 years here, and like another 3 in Chicago in the 80s. But and it just, when COVID hit and everything shut down, everything opened up again, and everyone had already gone their own separate ways. And I use my outlet through too many D&D games.
Okay.
Yes, I got like 4 or 5 a week. So
A week?
I don't have time. Yeah, I hooked up with my friends from Boston. Like, they were all like, "Hey, I'm getting a game together." Like, "Hey, what's going on?" I have a problem. I have an addiction. Every time someone's like, "I have a game," I'm like, "Can I play?" And then I play, and I'm like, "Oh, I don't have time for all this. This is stupid." Yeah, so I ignore my family half the week.
Okay. So,
but yeah, I think that's mainly my outlet.
okay.
I'm sorry, I'm disappointed.
No.
Okay, fine.
And I know you still have your show, Tales of the Extraordinary, and that's been running for many, many years.
Yes. I knew you couldn't stay away.
So
Yes.
with that show, let's talk about how'd you get into to start?
This does tie into Street Fighter. Actually, yeah, like I was saying, so I made that character mainly in improv. I did improv for like 20 years, and I came up with. I think. Oh yeah, I so enjoyed this. I read a Monty Python. They have like old books of all their sketches collected, and I just was flipping through at someone's house or whatever, and I saw like Little Dickie Attenborough, which is Richard Attenborough, but they would just and make fun of him and call him Little Dickie. And I was just like, it's hilarious. And in my head, I was reading what he was doing and just, I'm very British like this. And then I saw Moulin Rouge, and I was like, that's the voice of the Duke. It's like, I don't like this ending. And I was like, I love it. That's perfect. So then we started playing a game by White Wolf called Adventure, which is a 1920s pulp adventure, like a movie like The Shadow or Rocketeer, but as a game. So you have all those powers that you would in that, like trick shot, or you can cause cars to explode if they're chasing after you, things like that. And so I made this world-renowned explorer extraordinaire, Little Dickie Attenborough, and played with that. We did that for years, and then I was like, these games are amazing. Like I wasn't the DM, obviously, and then I was like, I should just write that. Yeah, so I made a screenplay about it. Of our first game that we ever did, because it was epic. And then I was like, let's have a reading. And so I got people together, including Taliesin, who I'd known for a few years by that point, Taliesin Jaffe, Blanca. And so my other friend was like, oh, no, man, I want to play basketball. I'm like, okay, fine. Hey, Taliesin, you want to read this with us? And one of the girls who did one of the characters had just an amazing voice, like very sultry. And we were like, whoa. And then we all went, why don't we just do this like a radio show? How do we do that? It's like 2007. I'm like, I don't know. Let's learn how to make a podcast. Like you had to write the code out. Like it was all XML.
Yeah.
Like, it sucked. Yep. But yeah, we wrote it, and then we just kept going. Like every week we were putting out a new one, and I was like, why am I doing this? And then we slowed down. And then we started doing live shows, and then I would strip out all the laughter and then make you not know that it was a live show, and put in music and effects, and then it just kept snowballing. And then this is how it ties into Street Fighter. So Taliesin wound up, for some reason, being the director on Street Fighter 4. And he brought all us in to audition. I think I auditioned for Dalsim, which they realized maybe we want somebody who's Indian. That makes sense. So then I was like, oh, that was cool. I'm going to continue doing because I was already like doing like commercial acting and theater and all that stuff. And then, then he brought us in again for Super Street Fighter 4. Or like, oh, they added a word to it. Okay. And then we, I did that, and I just used one of my characters from Tales for Cody. Whenever for some reason, I slip into just sort of a New York sort of accent all the time. Anyway, like if I'm doing a character on stage and I'll have a character ready, I come out and I'm like, hey, what's going on out here? And so I was just like, oh, let's do that one. And and then there you go. I was Cody, and then you got like Bonnie joined in, and then Jordan Byrne popped in for Street Fighter Cross Tekken, and then Chris came in for Hwarang. And then at some point, there was like half the cast was all people from Tales. And then we put Mercer in the show only because we did the Capcom community thing, like when the game came out, and he was Fei Long. And we did this whole thing, and then I put it up to like promote it on the Tales page, and I was like, hey, Tales Extraordinary represent, and that guy. And then I'm like, wait, hey, Matt, you want to be in the show? He was like, oh, okay, sure. Hey, everybody, Tales from Extraordinary, represent. Everyone's pictures, Tales Extraordinary now. And then, yeah, we just kept adding more people, like Stephanie Shea. We all knew her from some other projects that we did. Because another guy in the show did sketch comedy with her. And so that's how I met her and all these other people. And then, oh, man, we just kept collecting more people. Like Kyle, I made Kyle get in there as as a bad guy who sounds a lot like Charlton Heston. It's hilarious. So sure of himself. And then, yeah, so I don't know where I was going with that. But, yeah, so there you go. Created a show. And then we went on tour at one point. And I always think, like, we're just putting out in the ether. No one ever notices. But then I'll get people writing from, like, London or Canada. And I'm like, people hear us. Yeah. And then this is crazy. Then I went on TV Tropes. You know the website?
Mm-hmm.
There's a whole Tales Extraordinary section on TV Tropes. And I was like, we made it. So, I have achieved the pinnacle of human existence. I'm done. Yeah, I'm famous. And then everything sort of crashed in 2018 because we did a whole time travel show. Because I'm like, let's go crazy. So we had characters that were jumping in time every 30-year intervals, starting in 1928. So then it was great because I would just pop up slang for each year. I'm like, we're in the 50s. Let's throw in as much 50s slang. Then they were in the 80s. Let's do everything. You're going to get a blue mohawk, and everyone's doing crack and all this fun stuff. And then it could run around LA. And then, but they're all from the 20s, so it was stupid. They're like, you shouldn't go to Compton. Compton, I love it there. I ride horses there all the time. What's wrong with Compton? And then they jumped to 2018, at which point we're like, it'd be funny. Let's pretend Trump won. This would be hilarious. And so we had like this whole, we thought it was stupid. We're like, let's see what would happen. We'd have there was the Bernie Sanders Underground Railroad taking people to the Trudeau free zone. They'd arrested Anderson Cooper and put him. They had like a LGBTQ slave camps to help build the wall because Mexico wouldn't. And and so and then they're like the characters still. He's from the 20s. This guy, the Dickie, he popped into the 80s, and we kind of hinted at it because he's like watching the Oprah Winfrey show, and it's a famous thing with Trump where she's like, "Would you ever run for president?" He's like, "No, I wouldn't do that." And he's like, "Who's this robber baron on TV? He has amazing teeth. He uses them all when he talks. Look at that. Yeah, amazing." And then he gets to night 2018, and he's like in this camp with all these people, and they're eating like their food, and he's like, "What is that horrible mural?" They're like, "Well, that's the president. Why is he doing that with that bird, that eagle?" And then eventually he goes, "That's the robber baron." What? I recognize that as his teeth. And then we're like, haha, very funny. And then it happened. And so we all wound up just doom scrolling for like 3 years. And the show was sort of on hiatus while we were like, it was a joke. So yeah.
Speaking of that, with doom scrolling everything right now, like social media. So this is going to be going completely outside of voice acting, everything like that. So I'm throwing a curveball at you.
This is where we get banned. All right.
So okay, so social media. I feel like, granted, it allows us to connect more easily than ever before, but we're having some of the worst types of people be on social media. And the way, I know you're not on X/Twitter, but like it's crazy how it's crazy now because so long as you get any type of traction on Twitter now, since they've added a monetization thing, so people now
monetization.
Monetization.
Okay,
so
all right.
Now
totally different. All right.
so now anyone can just crap post or just clickbait, just make up stuff,
run by,
and they're just making crazy amounts of money, and it's at a point now where it's like I've been saying this to Lehua for a while, but like I'm at a point I don't enjoy social media anymore. Like before, I feel like it was fun, pre-Trump, it was fun a bit, but like since him and all the crazy people that have been getting on, it's like if I don't have to get on social media, I won't. And typically I just get on it just to promote stuff because I'm obligated to. But if I don't have to be on it, I don't have to be on it. What is your current opinion? I know it's a long way around. Your current opinion on social media. And
okay. That's such a niche, narrow topic. Well, I am a master of, maybe because of LiveJournal, of filters. Mm-hmm. So I have, I unfollow people, and, I keep them in there as like I collect people like from high school or whatever. I'm like, I have them. So if I ever, for some reason, need to contact that person, I have them, but I don't follow them. I post with specific filters depending on what I'm talking about, which only is seen by certain people.
Mhm.
So I'm in a bubble. For example, the bear, the whole bear versus man thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, would you rather be in the woods with a bear or with a man? And I don't have any of the people who are like, well, obviously a man because a bear will kill you. But all the people on my feed are people are yelling at those people, and I'm like, I feel like it feels like I described it as Garfield minus Garfield. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah.
They take Garfield out, and it's just like weird and existential, and it's John talking to himself. That's what it looks like on my feed. I don't see the terrible people. I just see my people yelling at terrible people. And I'm like, who are you talking? People aren't like that, are they? Like, I'm in a bubble. But I mean, Twitter's always been terrible. That's why I quit it in 2018 because I think I might have brought this up last time. Yeah, it was like, we're like, we're gonna get off Twitter for a day because it's vile and terrible and they're horrible people and Nazis. And I'm like, why am I even on there then? How about we go for longer than a day? Bye. But the thing, as you pointed out, anybody can get on there. So the people that you didn't normally know existed or who kept to themselves or you thankfully didn't see, they now are able to get out there and spout any insanity that they want to. Basically, yeah, you've put down a road to this house in the woods with a serial killer, and now he's part of the group, I guess.
and there's no consequences either. Like the way it is now, it's like you can just put any type of misinformation out there or just blatant lies, and it's just I feel like I lose IQ points every time and brain cells every time I go on Twitter. I'm just like, how?
You are losing brain cells.
It's just it's ridiculous.
Can you filter on Twitter?
I mean, bro, I have like maybe 300 filtered words and phrases. Whoa. And it's just like, I'm at a point now, I'm like, do I even want to go on there? And then it's like, okay, so this company sent me this. I have to post on here.
You're like, jump in, jump out.
Literally. And it's crazy because like a lot of the content creators I know who are like doing really, blowing up and they're doing extraordinary. All they do is literally do the engagement baiting.
Yeah.
Or what do they call it? Engagement farming. Like they'll just post a question or say something so out of the left field to get people to react to it so they can, collect money off of that. And I had I can't really call him a friend anymore because I cut ties with him. But this happened literally, I want to say last month this happened. So April. Last month was April, right? Yeah. Okay, April. So basically, this person who basically talks a lot of crap about a lot of other content creators that we both mutually know, then he goes on and makes this post, tags me, tags all these other people to go on and voice various characters in this project he's doing. So I DM him and I'm like, okay, so why did you tag me in that? Why would you reach out to these people and tag them that you talk so much, stink about? And he's like, well, that's a great question, but I tagged this person for exposure. I tagged that person for additional exposure and get all these people. This is how I put food on the table for my family. Yeah. And I'm just like, I can't. And a lot of creators, I'm seeing a lot of them do that. It's almost like they're chronically on social media or on specifically X. Yeah. And I just feel like it's, one, unethical to do that. Two, it's just completely unhealthy, especially for your mental health. I'm just like, man, I'm just gonna go over to this beach. Y'all have fun on X.
Advertising things. Like whenever I have shows, I'm just like, I don't go that extra mile that like club promoters I know would do, and I'm like, oh yeah, no, I feel dirty. I can't do
that. I worry for the younger generation that are coming up in this always online, always connected time frame, especially with social media. It's just the negative impacts that's going to have on their self-esteem, mental health, and more. It's almost like they don't know. Right. And it's, I don't know. Like
how's your mental health?
What?
Okay. What?
Okay.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I hear about the horrible things, but it's because I mean, I guess because I grew up watching it from the beginning and get to where it is.
Yeah.
But it's the most annoying thing that you mentioned, the tagging. Like you just can't seem to have fun. Those people, like our friend Erica, when she started doing things online, I think I told you this, Joey, before. I got confused once when she invited. I thought she was inviting me to a Nerf game.
Mm-hmm.
And then at some point I realized, oh, right, you're promoting you want me to watch a Nerf game with other people. Why would I do that? Like, I want to play it. What? And that's when I realized, oh, she's not with us anymore. Like everything she does has to be online. And like, if it's an event, it's something to be this. And it's like, but can't we just have fun? It's sneaky.
Yeah. I mean, do you think it's possible for us, I guess, as a society to be able to course correct from the direction that social media has taken us towards? And let's not even talk about AI.
That's got to be fun. Well, I mean, think of the good parts. There are so many people. There's an outlet for people who want to express themselves, or like, but there's maybe they live somewhere where they can't like put on a show, pay for theater or something like that, or they want to do like little vignettes and just want to do them. For example, like those people like on TikTok, things like that, or people who have songs and they want other people to hear them. Like those are nice. The fact that there's people, I'm going to mention, there's a guy, I won't say his name, but a Cody fan who, I don't know without the internet what he would have done, but he's married to Cody. He's got like I think he has a pillow. But yeah, he's like full on. And I'm like, without the internet, we never would have connected. And he probably would just be alone with his Cody. And, but he gets out there and we chat, and I'm just like, hey, he says nice things about Cody, and I'm like, oh, cool thing. And then he'll be like, hey, can you say a line? I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever. And it makes his day. So, and like the D&D thing, so many people, like last time I was in Hawaii, I guess Critical Role had just started like a year or two before that. And so we were all, we're all Street Fighters, and everyone coming to the booth, they're either for Bonnie, because she's the only character in Street Fighter 5, or they would all come up to Taliesin, and they'd just be like, thank you so much. You've changed my life. And we're all like, what? And it's just so many people come up to them because they had no outlet. Like they always wanted to play D&D, but they live in the like middle of friggin' Kansas or Oklahoma or something, and there's no one to talk to and no one to play with. And then they would watch this show and they'd be like, oh my God, I can do that. I'll do that. I'm going to call people up. And like people started so many games just because of that, or because of things like, Roll20, or just, so that's the nice thing. People who without the internet would have no outlet. Like so many goths are trapped in the Midwest.
Yeah.
We got a friend from Oklahoma who moved out here, and he's just like, I'm so happy. So I focus on the positive, but that's probably also because I have so many filters. So I don't see the negative. But yeah, I had to unfollow people just because I was so tired of their everything they posted was only about spam. And I was like, but what about you? Like, this isn't your page. This is your personal profile. Let's show me what you're doing.
Yeah.
I mean, you have a page, and if I wanted to keep up with your videos, I would go to your page and follow it there. But if I want to be like, hey, how's school? Like, or how you feeling today? Then that's what the real life one's for.
Yeah. Yeah, I just hope we get to like, no, I mean, you're completely correct, because it has given a lot of people the outlet and also the means to create phenomenal stuff, build whole careers, and TikTok. Especially, I mean, TikTok's the best example right there. The amount of people who have created whole careers off of just doing 15 to 60-second videos, and it's absolutely phenomenal. I think the TikTok ban is ridiculous.
Oh my God, I can't. I'm just watching it with popcorn.
I mean, it.
Yes. But it's only taken off of Apple. It's taken off the app stores, but it still exists. So
yeah,
if you have it, I figure I'm looking on the bright side. People can still do what they're doing.
Yeah.
There's just no, and I mean, you can actually just trade it. It's not that hard to give it to me. I have a tricorder app on my phone. That's a like next generation tricorder. It turns my smartphone into tricorder. It's not official. It's never been on an app store. Like someone made it, and I just pass the file to every new phone I get. So I mean, if it's somebody's gonna probably not hack it, but break it and just find a way. It always finds a way. Life finds a way.
Very true.
But that's my hope. That's me being too optimistic. On the other hand, it could just totally melt down. No one's going to buy it. You're not getting the algorithm. You're just getting the name. And then no one's going to jump on that something called TikTok that sucks.
And
it's going to suffer.
And it's so interesting because like a lot of people act like they don't realize that TikTok has influenced every video platform that's out there. It's influenced YouTube with shorts, is Reels on Facebook and Instagram. What's the other one? Twitch just started integrating short forms videos, 15 to 60 seconds, because discoverability. So it's like it's not going anywhere, in my opinion. Like, and even if it does go down, people are going to find a way to still use it.
Yeah, but it's just so gross. They actually had a thing on I think it was the New Yorker podcast where they talked to one of the biggest guys. He's from Palantir, I guess. In Silicon Valley. He's like the one who was lobbying hard to get TikTok taken down. And the journalist is like, do you understand that with how it looks like? I mean, you benefit from that. So it's so obvious. Like all these platforms are like, no, get rid of them because go with the American spies and help us. Or even the fact that Mnuchin of all people is just like gearing up to buy it once it goes for sale. And it's like, there's nobody, it's for us. I have to turn off the news when it gets on the topic of that whole TikTok thing because it's so illogical. It makes no sense. They're like, they're spying. The Chinese are spying. The guy they were talking to, even the Palantir guy, he's like, I mean, they're giving information to China. And he was like, how do you know that? He's like, because they passed this law that says they have to do this. But did they? It's like, but they could. And that's what, I mean, you understand, right? And he's like, no. It's like, yeah, they could do that. But are they?
Goodness.
Sorry, now we're ranting. We're old men ranting. Clouds. For he is the Kwisatz Haderach.
This is Mama's outfit.
Okay.
It's nice and warm.
We've always dreamt of dressing her up as Alia from Dune, the original Dune from 1984. It was just all black, like with blue eyes going, my brother's coming, Baron.
I thought you were going to dress me up as that person with like the dark part right here, but then with like we have a little bobblehead of her.
Are you talking about Furiosa?
Yeah, Furiosa.
Yeah, that's when he had a shaved head.
Yeah.
I bought all the gear to make her a Furiosa arm. And then she goes, no, I'm going to be Moana again. And I was all like, you know what? Great, because I don't know how I was going to do that. It would have been awesome.
Nah.
So I do have another spicy question for you.
Oh, spicy.
Spicy.
I don't like spicy.
Oh, hey, you're alive.
No, Patty was there. He owns a castle in Scotland, Ireland. Yes.
So this whole AI thing.
Oh no.
AI has this. Well, I mean, it's been around for over a decade to the public. I mean, we really want to be honest, Siri and such.
Every chatbot. Yeah.
Literally. But like to the point where we've had ChatGPT just literally blow this lid off of this thing as of 3.5 years ago.
Should have got NVIDIA stock.
I know, like literally now we're at a point now you've got the deep fakes or anyone can do deep fakes now.
You can do movies.
Literally. Yeah. So the way it's affecting, especially the voice acting community, like, what are your thoughts on that? I know you have some thoughts, and you can give unfiltered as much as you want.
Yeah, well, I mean, as long as you, it's tough because, for example, China, it doesn't matter because if you have copyright laws, they just don't care. But yeah. I mean, it's still your image or your voice. I think Sarah Silverman brought this up. So, even if an AI is doing it, you should still be compensated, I'm pretty sure. And if any laws or contradictions, they can pass laws that make it like if you're benefiting off of someone's image or voice for profit, whether or not that is them, you need to fairly compensate them. I think that would help because I don't think you can stop it.
Yeah.
Because people are going to do it. Like I saw again, my bubble. Like my friends are always railing against AI, and it's like, how dare you share this art? And what about this? And I'm like, you understand? There's like a lot of people who do not care about that, about supporting artists or anything. They want a thing, and they're getting it, and that's all that matters. Like my wife's always railing against. They keep making so many Transformers movies, and they suck. I'm like, yes, because people keep giving them money. So why would they stop? It's like, you may think it's terrible. There's someone else out there who's like, yeah, cool. I'm trying to think of something positive to say. I couldn't. But it's look at that shape. Do stuff. That's my Transformers impersonation. But there's also good for AI. I have a friend he's a stuntman. He also does CGI. And he's always like, I'm gonna say what people don't want to hear, and he says the good. Like his wife is a friggin' professor. She has to deal with AI, ChatGPT crap all the time with essays, and still he's like, look, there are good things you can do with it. He's like, I was trying to brainstorm my script the other day, and I was like, what kind of characters could I? And he used AI to just like not write the script, but just help him brainstorm, like give him something to, what about the characters who do this or something like this? And he's like, oh yeah, well, that'd be cool. And then like it's good for like a stepping stone, things like that. But I mean, some things like Hallmark movies, I mean, might as well just let it happen. They're practically AI anyway. Just don't even fight it. Come on. But I don't think currently there's not a market, right? Like it seems like when people figure out things are AI, they're just like, oh no. Like Secret Invasion. Remember when that happened? Did you? With Marvel, when they discovered the opening was AI, and just like, and they got shut down. Well, it also was terrible, so that helped. It was so bad. So I don't know. Is that an answer?
I mean, it works.
You gotta learn to live with it.
Yeah, and I feel like that's the thing. A lot of people don't want to accept is a lot of this stuff. Once the lid's off, it's not going to go back on. You can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. It is what it is. I didn't realize until maybe, I think it was a year and a half ago, how bad the whole AI and how people felt about it, or most vocal people felt about it. I got I got contracted by Razer because they have I think it's called Razer Axon or something like that, where it's like you type in words of what you want it to do, and this is for wallpapers, like active animated wallpapers. Type in what you want to do, or take a picture, whatever you have, and it will just do an AI animated generated thing. So they paid me to do it. I was like, okay, yeah, sure. And then I posted it. The amount of backlash I got was absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah. Like you hear the words AI.
Yeah, and people were like, "Oh, you're promoting this, and this is stealing from actual artists. People should just commission artists." And in my head, I'm thinking, okay, well, one, this software is free. Two, a lot of people probably don't want to pay the commission.
Can't. I mean, I don't think people understand that it's expensive to commission an artist for something.
Yeah, and then you don't know, like, are they going to give you the best art or not? I mean, it's a it's 50-50. You don't know. So it was just very interesting to me seeing how just angry people were at me. Like people I've known for years just in my DMs saying some of the craziest things to me. And I'm just like, okay, I got paid pretty good to do this. So should I not have taken it? No, you shouldn't have taken it. Okay, so what should I have done?
My friend works with the overlord. He tests like AI chatbots. Mm-hmm. That's like his job. He's like, all right, give me this. All right, dude. Like that's all he does all day is he just comes up with ideas and writes down what happens and where it sucks and how to fix it and make it better. So he's making the world worse, I guess. He's a writer too. That's the best part. But if you like the art thing, like if not for that AI art, they weren't going to get that art. They were never going to buy that art. They weren't going to commission anyone to do, like, I want to have a unicorn riding a starship through a sun. Like, a person who's like making enough to like pay rent and eat, and they're not going to buy art. That's a luxury, and that nobody was getting that money. Is my point. So they just, hey, a free chatbot. I want a unicorn riding a spaceship through the sun. Cool. I'm going to put that on my phone. That's neat. Like, if they were like, you have to pay us for it, he'd be like, no. So these are things that would not exist anyway. No one's getting that money, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, and I see a lot of it. I know this recently happened within the game journalism field. I recently saw this go down with a bunch of different journalists and content creators that I personally know, where it came out that they were using ChatGPT to write articles and write reviews.
Ooh.
And so, like, it became a whole big thing. And then people were asking me, like, what's your opinion? I'm Switzerland. I'm staying out of it. Because, it's like there's
I'm
nothing.
not using it, so who cares?
Yeah. I'm like, and okay, so I get flack for that too, because it's really my opinion on a lot of things. Like, in the case of like this stuff, like AI and whatnot, I'm not using it. I don't
need to have an opinion. Who cares?
Yeah, and it's the thing is, like, people want you to have an opinion on everything. I'm just like, but I don't.
It's like, what do you think about serial mass murder? I'm like, well, I'm not doing it.
Bad.
I hope to not be part of it. I mean, obviously it's bad, I guess. I'm not going to do it, I swear. I didn't know why I came up with that one. Monster truck rallies. I'm not going to go to one, but have fun.
Right? Yeah, but I mean...
But I do like the cheating. That yeah, obviously that's just hurting people. Like,
yeah.
But that's no different than hiring like the smartest guy in your class to write your essay for you. It's just pretty much the same thing, except it's free, and that kid's not getting his money now.
Yeah.
But it's I was telling my teacher friends, or I think my wife came up with this. It's like, look, if they're going to chat GPT it, just be like, you need to handwrite your essay and hand it in, because even if they didn't write it, they have to handwrite down what was chat GPT'd, and then there at least something's getting in there.
Yeah.
From writing it. I don't know what my point was there.
No, but they're also making I think they're like services right now that can take whatever chat GPT or Gemini or Copilot, all this other stuff, and can be like, it can rewrite it so that it looks more human. And I feel like we're gonna get to a point where we're not gonna be able to tell what's real and what's artificially created.
Absolutely, yeah.
If we're not already there.
It's been a real problem. I mean, as soon as deepfakes started a few years ago, it was like, oh crap, the next election's gonna suck. And sure enough, there's already been like, AI cold robocalls and things like that. And Trump with his doctored images of going to any people of color, like he would actually be seen in public. And it's like, yeah, that guy with the 3 hands, I'm sure he's definitely a Trump fan. So that's going to be fun, especially the next cycle. That'll probably be worse.
Yeah.
And harder to tell. But I mean, there's fun things like people who are like a Wes Anderson Star Wars film. Like, I love when people post those random things up online. I mean, that's not hurting anyone. No one else is going to do that.
True.
You're not going to commission someone to make 20 pictures of like Han Solo in steampunk gear at, Burning Man.
Yeah. I mean, and it's also interesting too, because maybe it doesn't tie into it, but it kind of makes me think of the NFT thing, like in the sense of like how we're pushing, well, not we, but like, I guess you can say powers to be those, and
it's totally us. We're in charge.
Like the push for this all digital future, What, NFTs is one, and then we're seeing how physical media is just dying off. It is ridiculous how you have to pre-order things just to get it now. Movies, music, games, like trying to go into a store and physically buy something, which is interesting because, like,
into a store.
Yeah, I know, such a foreign concept, right? Who does that even?
There are people there.
Like it's crazy. We're going towards this all digital future, and I saw a video. Lehu and I were watching this the other day, where the guy did a whole video on AI partners, where people are falling in love with their AI partners. And I'm like, in my head, I'm saying, please go outside and touch some damn grass. But I understand there's some people.
Is the word you're looking for.
But I understand that there's some people that,
There are people who don't want to go outside and touch.
I know.
I mean, I can't fault them. They're happy.
Yeah. And
that's their thing.
It's just, I don't know. Like, I feel like things are just so weird now compared to like maybe 10 years ago.
Well, you're going to love it when you're 80 and you can't walk. And you're like, oh, don't want to go outside anyway. I cannot wait to be a senior citizen playing like Fallout 20.
I mean, if we even get to that. Aren't they working
the way
on
Fallout goes? Fallout 6.
I mean,
40 years from now.
I think due to the Microsoft lease, we might get Fallout 6 in the next year or two.
I've never played Fallout 76, so
I have it. Actually, I don't know if you have Amazon Prime, but they're giving it away free. You can get it, the whole thing, all the expansions.
I've never, because there are people there. Like it's an MMO basically, right?
Yeah. Apparently, I don't know. People. I remember when it came out, people were bashing it, but now people are like, "Oh, it's so amazing!"
Like No Man's Sky.
Yeah.
Like,
oh my goodness,
I hear it's going like 7 years or something crazy, and I'm like, good for them. But I'm too biased by the first thing I ever heard, which is this game sucks. It's so boring.
Yeah.
Like I'm a terrible first impression person. Same with Fallout 76. I'm like, oh yeah, it's that game that was wonky and everyone hated. But clearly somebody likes it because it's still going.
I'm just wondering how, I guess Fallout 6 and then, Fallout 5. 5? 6? 5.
No, yeah, 5.
5.
Yeah.
And then Elder Scrolls 6. I'm wondering how they're going to do, since both of them have MMOs. Both of those titles, according to the leaks, are supposed to be coming out in the next year to 2.
I heard about Elder Scrolls, yeah.
But with how people feel about Bethesda now, I'm just like, how is it going to... Apparently, they hate it. They hate Bethesda. They're like, oh, they call it Bug Bethesda.
Oh, yeah, whatever.
And I'm like, hasn't that always been things?
Yeah, it's everybody. The new... I was blindsided by the new update to Fallout 4. I didn't know what was happening. And I just log in and it's like, oh, your DLC is gone. I'm like, hey, what's going on? And then I couldn't download it and I couldn't get it was a whole mess for like 2 days until I realized there was some weird glitch where if I have it in my store on PlayStation, it won't download it. So I had to remove it from the store and then I could download for free. It was really weird. I didn't know what it was. But now it works great. but yeah, it was 2 days. I was checking online and everybody's bitching about it and what a terrible rollout it was and all that. But yeah, I'm sure that didn't help Bethesda.
Hey, did you say that?
Oh, I was tell you a thing about AI. You got to check out this episode. I'll see if I can find a link of Planet Money. I don't know if you've ever heard that. It's a NPR show. I listened to it because it's an economic show, but they have like just really one wacky stories about people, and they were like, so AI is doing everything now, so let's make an AI episode and see what that's all about. So they had AI write their episode, the script. They took one of their hosts, and like he talked. They can just find him because he's online. They got the computer to make him, so he was reading the script. And it was almost right. It sounded almost like him, except he would be like, ha, 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 ha. Like the lady couldn't laugh. It was like, that's a robot. But this is the best part. The subject was about telephone operators.
Mhm.
Because that was the whole point, is that AI is basically is the, like 411 or whatever, or when you would just dial an automated operator, basically. Because because that was like the female workforce of the United States for a long time, was switchboard operators. And then it was all automated, and they just disappeared. And they made the whole episode about that. And it was really cool. The numbers are all wrong, the stats, because it was written in AI. But they made sure that at the end they're like, okay, here's what it did well, here's what it did bad. But it was a great idea, I thought, as far as like comparisons to like when this is now obsolete.
Okay,
I'll send you.
Yes, send me that. I need some new things to check out, because I'm at a point now, like outside of like whatever I watch on Netflix or Disney Plus. Mostly I watch a lot of stuff on YouTube, but I'm at a point now, and people might be shocked to hear this, but I don't like watching other gaming content creators or anyone who talks about anime or gaming outside of my wife. Reason being, it's because one, don't want to be
my show.
One, I don't want to be influenced by other people's opinions when I do stuff, and then two, I know a lot of these people in real life, and the person that they present to be versus who they actually are is kind of like, ew. Anyway,
I always describe it like porn, which is like, why would I watch porn when I can do porn? Well, maybe not porn, but which is why I've only ever seen 5 minutes of Critical Role this whole time. I'm the worst person. I've never seen their show, and I don't watch podcasts of D&D, but I do a D&D podcast because I'm playing it. But I'm like, why would I watch other people? I don't understand that. And we tried, this is total side tangent. We tried to do we were trying to put together a show, another live play show. But the way it was, anyone can steal this. We were going to be playing the game and then have actors acting it out. So kind of like Dan Harmon's D&D, where he like animates what they're doing, except as we're doing it, people are acting it out on a stage, like getting stuff together real quick and running out. And like, as we're talking, they're sort of, oh, okay. So it's more like, drunken history version.
Yeah.
D&D. And so one of the guys, this producer they got to do it, he was super confused. And he was like, we're like, yeah, check out Critical Role and all these other things. And he's like, what is this? It's just 3 hours long. Nobody listens to this. Do people listen to this? And we're like, yeah, that's why yeah, it's a thing, dude. Whatever happened to Thaco? We're like, oh my God. This is not happening. So that didn't happen. Man, it's Thaco. 30 years ago, bro.
Oh,
so
man.
I know it's a weird tangent, but that was just people not even understanding how this is a thing. We see this, and so we're like, D&D is huge. People love this. And then like I'll go home to like Connecticut home, and to old people, and they're all just like, they have no idea this is even a subculture. And you'll mention it, and they're like, so what is this? Who watches this? And like thousands of people, like millions of people. This is a huge thing. Huh. Which is another awesome thing about the internet.
It's true.
I'm just saying, it brings people who needed to connect with their people, to find their niche and their group.
Oh, so, you still got to send me that thing you were talking about when you were out here. No, did you?
Oh, no, I thought you meant something else.
No. The what is it? The YouTube comments thing.
Oh, yeah.
I need that because, dude, I refuse to read my comments. I look at my notifications. I get so many just vile things.
Still available.
I'm just like, yeah, no, I'm not reading that.
Oh, no, I opened up the AI. No. Okay. Oh, my God. My wife got into an argument with the AI. It was amazing. I got to send it to you. Am I still on? Can you see my face?
Yes.
Okay. For some reason, when I do this on my phone, my mom's like, where'd you go? Where are you? Yeah, my wife got she wound up on Facebook's AI, and she's like, please stop talking to me. Like, wouldn't. And then she goes, all right, show me a picture of me and my husband at Comic-Con. And it's just these two jacked dudes, like this big bold black guy, this big Asian guy, and they're jacked. And we're like, she goes, that's not me or my husband. And the guy goes, I know, I can't really do that. It's like, what? What? Oh, there it is. Based on my profile, would I actually like this AI feature, she says? It's all like, well, since I have access to your location and search history, I can make an educated guess. And she's like, whoa, hold on, what? I'm going to send this to you. Oh, damn it. It's Facebook locked. I'll send it to you later. But anyways, hilarious. She got trapped by AI. Speaking of AI. But yeah, everybody, I'll try to find it. It was in Chrome years ago, but I use Edge now. And I think it was called Herpaderp. I don't know, but what he's talking about is YouTube comments. There's an extension that turns all YouTube comments into herpaderpaderp, derp, because that's basically what it sounds like anyway. I mean, it'll make all your lives better.
I mean, it's just at a point now where like I literally don't at all. Like,
No,
even
never.
if
sometimes you do it by accident, you're like, oh no, I can't get out. What have I done?
No, I messed up the other day because I was like, what's the company that wanted to? What was it Meta PC? They make custom built computers and they wanted my metrics because they want to do a partnership. And so like I went on there to go look at my analytics and I saw the comments and I was like, oh no. And then I started doom scrolling and I was like, wow,
Twilight madness.
You're that angry. All I said was, I like this game.
No, you can't enjoy something. You're a Nazi. Yeah, you think you're doing fine, and then you get to somebody saying woke, and you're like, damn it.
Crazy.
Oh my God. Speaking of being surprised by your friends on Facebook and misinformation. So, like, our friend, like, he's posting, like, save the librarians, and, like, he seems sane. And then out of nowhere, he posts that thing about the tents. Have you heard about this with the campus protesters?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Yeah, like the Mayor Adams. He's so stupid. He's like, you ever notice they all have the same kind of tents? What do you think that is? Obviously, it's some kind of, this isn't spontaneous. This is organized. Someone's behind this. And it's like, it's a protest. You organize them. They don't just happen. You organize protests. These are poor college kids. Guess what the first hit you get on Amazon for cheap ass tent is? It's that tent. And hey guys, I found a cheap tent. Everyone buy this tent. There, is that nefarious? And what's the nefarious part? That they're supporting the same thing that these people are protesting? Because that's not nefarious. That's exactly what they're saying. There's no secret there. Like the bike chain. Did you see the bike chain thing? You got to watch the latest Last Week Tonight with John Oliver. He like has a field day with it. And he's like, that bike chain, that chain is, it's a bike chain. Not only is it a bike chain, they sell it on the Columbia University website. Here it is. You're wondering where they got it from? They got it from you. I don't know where that was. Oh yeah. So yeah, you think you know somebody and then that happens.
I mean, that's one of the things about social media is it lets you see way more about people than you ever care to know. And oh God, can I say this? Yeah, I'll say it. I don't care if I get flinged for it. So I totally will. So there's this this group.
Group?
Yeah, it's this group trying to bring together all Hawaii creators, and they scouted me. They talked a good game.
Group now. Yeah.
I joined, and I'm in this group, and they're like, "Oh yeah, you can collab with this person, collab with this person." I went to this event last month before I got the thing on my hands and feet. I think it was last month. Yeah. They were like, "Yeah, here's a tent at this show at Kaneohe, or this event in Kaneohe. Here's a tent. Here's a booth. Boom, make content." And I'm just like, what? Oh yeah, there's this guy. He does like parkour and flips and all that. And I'm like, okay. They're like, do a podcast with him.
No.
Why?
For them, as in I'm not getting paid.
Not getting paid, completely free. So, and the interesting thing about this group, one, almost all of them talk crap about one another, but when we're at events where there's in person, they're so, oh, I missed you, I like you, this and that. And so I've just gotten to this point where I just don't deal with the group anymore. And I bring it up to say this because a lot of people in there, they're not that interesting. They're really not. And I've had to say that to a couple of them. They're like, yeah, you know, since you're doing content full time, what do you think my odds are? And I'm like, you want an honest answer or you want a diplomatic? I want honest. Are you sure you want honest?
You don't, though.
I'm like,
That's a lot.
you post about how busy you are, but your posts aren't that interesting. You're doing your hair. You're following
hits.
No.
Oh, that's probably why.
No, I'm just like, you're not that interesting. Like, because you're following a trend. Do something like, it's fine if you're going to follow a trend. Like I've been doing that myself with some of the shorts and reels I've been doing, but I'm also adding in my own personality and my twist to it. And I keep telling these people here, I'm like,
stamping.
you know, you got to do something different, but if you're going to follow the trend, do it, but do it a little bit differently so people can
marketing. You know, like, what are you doing that separates you from other people?
Right. But it's just, I don't know. They're all doing the same thing, copying each other, backbiting, using each other for growth. And I'm just like, yeah, no. And then their whole thing with me is like, oh, you have such a small Instagram follower. Okay. So I don't care.
About what I do with it.
Right.
I hate that. Yeah, luckily I've never had to deal with it. I've read about, like, this person didn't get this part because they didn't have enough followers. I'm like, whoa, wait till they look at my page. With it's just 400 something, maybe.
It's just so weird.
You remind me of there's speaking of voiceover, this totally reminds me. You ever heard of Bang Zoom?
Yeah.
Haha, I'm gonna give away their secret. They're basically slave labor. So yeah, most of the, like, it worked out. Like, I know Kyle was there and other people went through there who now do voiceover. But so it's great, like, you know, boot camp type of thing. But it's because they are like paying you nothing basically and working you like to death. Like, they did so much content for like so little, and I would always hear them complaining about it. And it basically was a racket. And they would have booths at Comic-Cons. That's it. Yeah, our producer was really into getting them. Mm-hmm. The guy who produces our Street Fighter and other things. Because he was like, these guys are terrible. It's like, look at this. They have a booth. They have people come in and audition, and they're basically like using these people. Yeah, and like taking, I can't remember exactly what it was. He was going around with a camera trying to catch them, but yeah, they were very similar stuff. It's like, hey, come and do this thing for us. That's what he totally reminded me of. I don't know if they're still around, but I was always like, oh, I'm good. Nope. No thanks. But it's definitely good for getting to work.
It's weird that people view a person's value and worth right now, current society, based off of like social media metrics that people can pay for.
Yeah.
It's
yeah, right?
Yeah, like
that's another reason not on Twitter.
it's crazy. Anyways, being respectful of your time, because I know it's late where you are. I'm not sure if you got your dinner, but
I'm fine. She won't leave.
Is there any advice that you would give to anyone who would be interested in getting into acting or improv or voice acting? You know, if this is your show right now, you can, you know.
Actually, yes. I was talking about this with Bill the other day when we were doing the thing that I can't talk about. How I guess D. Bradley Baker, I think I sent you a link. Mm-hmm. So many people would ask, like, hey, how can I get into voice acting? And he's like, you know what? I'm going to just make a website. And I don't know if you've checked it out, but was it good? Did it work?
Very good, yeah.
Okay. He basically breaks down. Just type in, anybody can just type in D. Bradley Baker voice acting, I think. And he made a whole website. So it's like, you know what? Everyone just go here. Just boom. That way, I'm sure half of it was like, please stop asking me. But the other half is like, let's just put it all in one place and to help other people. So take a look at that. See what what type of Bang Zoom places you have around you that you can go and take courses and be forced to do a whole lot of anime for $5. But that's still, I don't know. It wasn't like that. No, it felt like it. No, it was less. No, I mean, no, it was. The point is, no, it wasn't.
Rubbing quarters together.
Please say that. Well, they're never calling me. Let's see. As far as theater, I mean, just look for any classes you can take. That's always the best way to go. Improv. I don't know if you live in LA, but it's especially easy in LA at least. You have to pay to basically take lessons at an improv place, but like the groundlings. But when you get at the end of that, you have a show. You have people come to the show. It's a model that everybody uses, but it works. You get the training, you get people to come to your shows, and you get to work on promoting yourself as well. I was with LA Comedy Connection for like 2.5 years, and it was just constant. Like every month we had a show, or every week I think, but just always getting people to come, and it's just always trying to get to work on promoting yourself. But also, we rehearse like 2 or 3 times a week, so it really. I always say that if you want to be a good voice actor, I'd recommend improv over anything, because you have to just change up on the fly so much, and it helps you create entire worlds. Because when you're doing a sketch, an improv show, you basically are like, for example, you get something from the audience, whatever, like you're in a laundromat in the post-apocalypse, and then you're there. You get it. It's what you're doing on stage. You're visualizing it. You're touching things. You're miming whatever. You have to create your own environment. It teaches you how to do that. So when you're in a booth and you have nothing around you, and they're like, "All right, you're riding a giant bird ostrich thing, and you're being shot at with slime or whatever," but you're like, "Oh, okay, yeah, no problem." And then when it's like, you know what, that's not working, try it more like this. And it's like, okay, yeah, you can switch it up. Because we have a lot of improv games like that. There's there's a famous one where it's like you improvise a play up to a point, and there's a director going, no, that was terrible. This needs something. Give us a country. Italy. All right, now you're all Italian. Go. And you do the exact same thing, but now you're Italian. Like, no, that's something else. You're all 20 feet tall. All right, go. Oh, okay. So I recommend that training, because that really helps you just boom, boom. You can switch up with anything. But yes, definitely you would want to get more acting. It's not, it's not about just having a good voice. It's also about, this is another thing we were talking about with Bill. He was saying that he knew like people who were just famous for like, maybe they're like a model or an influencer on Instagram or whatever. And so they put them in a game, and he was like, no. And like, you have a great voice, but you had no like training. And some people are amazing. They don't need training. They're boom. They're Christina Ricci. They're like, hey. But then sometimes it's like, no, please don't do that again. And so like, she didn't get anything. Nobody wanted her in a game after that. And it's like, but if you didn't like jump too high, like you kind of get up there, have something background, something to build on, and to help you, not just like a name or a really good voice. Like, you have a very good voice. But I don't know. I don't know as far as acting background. Some people like get real nervous when they go on stage or they have to perform, and they're just like, oh. And you're like, I know this guy. I know he's awesome. Come on, do the thing. I'm a whore, so I don't know how that works, but I know that there are people who like they get super nervous, or like the line readings are off. You've played those games,
yeah,
where you're like, what? Yeah, I'm terrible when I watch cartoons. I'm like, that could have been different. But anyway, yes, look up classes, and if you want to just get to working, I always recommend voices.com. I know there's another site, but I can never remember what it is. Voices.com, people bid people have projects. Let's say, I want you to read this manual for how to put the thing together. I want you. Somebody makes an independent, cartoon or something. They just need people. They say willing to pay between like $250 and $400. And Bonnie's the master of this. She's like, oh, okay, then how about $200? She always like underbids. That's how she was always getting the work. But then you get, it's more cuts out the middleman basically, and you can sometimes get experience at least that way.
Okay.
And they'll give you notes, and learn how to edit.
Okay.
And then we were talking about that before, but don't use Audacity. That's the devil. Do you use Audacity? Yeah. It's so clunky. I got in a public argument at the Hawaii Con with Taliesin on stage. He's like, yeah, use Audacity. I was like, no, it's terrible. Don't use those. Like, no, it's fine. I'm like, no, it's not. He's so pissed. Because he can't do it. He's so clunky. I did the first few episodes of Tales on that, and I was just like, this is hurting. And then I got Adobe Audition where it's like, I highlight this, and a volume symbol comes up. And I'm like, great, here we go. Moving on.
Audition is so good.
Yes. And Vegas. So
yes.
Nobody uses Vegas, but only I do. But Sony Vegas is good for multi-track things. But yeah, get to know that, how to do that, because it also helps you understand the booth, the people on the other side of that microphone. Which every time I do a line or whatever, I always look out the window and go, I'm like, is it short enough? Moving it? Maybe if we, no. I'm like, all right, I can go faster. You ready? Here we go. So yeah, to know the most, like same thing with mocap. When we have mocap workshops here. And it's good to be on both sides. Like you're the actor, you're also, one day you're going to be just the guy who does the props, puts in the door frame that is a wall somehow. And here's a steering wheel. Now you have a car. And then work in the animatics part with the guys who actually have to take in that raw information and move it around and use the virtual camera and things like that. It's always good. Same thing with an actor. It's good to, like on-screen actor, to know what the camera is seeing. That way oh my God, it goes all the way back to theater, knowing when you're in the light. That's basically what it all comes down to. Like, what is being seen. You understand like what you're doing is coming across.
Okay. All right.
That's my TED Talk.
All right. So is there anything you want to promote? Anything you're working on? Anything you want the audience to know about?
I'm retired. No. Follow my Instagram. It's a lot of nothing. No one's Instagram is better than Kyle LeBear's, by the way. That man is a meme generator.
He is. He's so
good. So many times I've been like, I'm showing that to my wife. But I won't have anything to promote for a year or so.
Okay.
That I'm aware of.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right. Easy. Well, with that being said, where can people find you on social media if they want to stalk you?
Oh yeah, sure. Come stalk me. I mean, it's your sanity, but you're welcome to come to Freaketeer. Good luck spelling that. Freak, ETEER. So it's Rocketeer and Freak put together. Those are my two nicknames. Long story. I used it in Halo back in the day because Rocketeer was taken and Freak was taken. So I'm like, oh, Freaketeer. And people are like, hey, Freak Eater. I'm like, no, it's Freaketeer. So now that I've had that entire long story, you now know how to look me up on Instagram. And on Facebook, it's really funny. It's Come to Coleman. And that should bring you to the page that I don't post on enough. Yep, that's right. I'm a child.
They're all that.
Yes, I don't post enough there, but when I do, it's amazing.
I mean, you're busy, like living life, working.
Oh, yeah. I'm on a neighborhood council. I'm the treasurer for our JET Alumni Association. That's the Japan teaching thing. We do interviews. We do events for people. I have to work. I also work at the Magic Castle, like last weekend. And then there's children. Got to drive an hour every time I drop them off to school and pick them up.
Wow.
So yeah, I guess I'm busy. Yeah. And then I'm going to go play Fallout for 4 hours.
All right. So with that being said, people, this is the episode of the Kasanova Podcast with our special guest returning after 5 years. There's two. The one and the other, Michael T. Coleman. And if you guys want to follow him, stalk him on social media, respectfully, of course. We will leave links to everything. Links to everything is going to be in the description down below. And if you enjoyed this episode of the podcast, make sure you like it, share it around if you're watching it on YouTube, or if you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever the hell Google's doing, because apparently they're rebranding Google Podcasts again.
Oh my God, it's dead. It's been a nightmare for me. I finally found podcast. I'm going to look this up. Everybody who's on Google Podcasts, I got something good.
Okay.
Any second now. Or at least the thing that's closest to it. Pocket Casts.
Oh, yes. That's a good one. Yes.
Can't read it. But yeah, I went through all the things people were like, try Podbean, try this. I'm like, it's not the same. But this is the closest. I can select it, put it in a queue, play it. There we go. That's my advertisement. Also, if you're on those websites, Spotify, etc., you can look up Tales of the Extraordinary.
See?
We got 100 some odd episodes. Do it.
Awesome.
You'll pee yourself laughing.
And with that being said, people, we will catch you guys on the next one. If you enjoyed this episode of the podcast or any of the other episodes that we've done so far, if you've enjoyed any of the conversations I've had with guests that I've had on the show, or just general topics that you guys have thrown at me or that I've researched and we've just talked about on the show, then do me a solid. If you're listening on any of the major podcasting outlets, make sure you leave a comment, leave a rating or a review, because it greatly helps out the show. If you're watching the show on YouTube, which airs every single week, then make sure you sub to the channel, youtube.com/@Mekel Kasanova, or just youtube.com/Mekel Kasanova, or even do us an even bigger solid by liking the video and sharing it with someone you think would find some enjoyment out of it. And all that being said, I hope you guys continue to enjoy this podcast and the content we put out here, because hey, we do it with a passion and we do it for you. So with that being said, I catch you guys on the next one. Stay safe, be blessed, and I'll see you around. Peace.